think we're gonna have to step back from time for learning for a little while and do more independent lessons. It's gotten to the point where I just sent him to his room because right there in front of me he did what I told him not to. He just didn't even want to think about the question or the answer. He just put in the values into the computer until he got the right one. And that's not how that's supposed to work. He's not learning anything from that. So I'll look at the material. Because I still at least want to. We need to cover some of this material because he wasn't paying attention to it. He was just. There's a handful of assignments. I am 99% sure all he did was that. So. Yeah, he started throwing a fit when Ray told him, nope, now you gotta redo it, read the whole thing. He wasn't happy with that. I was like, no, this is cheating. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. So, we've been doing time for learning quite a bit lately, so we're going to step back from that and just supplement it, you know. I honestly wish that they didn't do this, where they let them, know if the answer is right or wrong right then, because that's how he's been using it. And I'm pretty sure other kids are doing the same thing. It's a pretty easy conclusion for them to come to, that they can just scoot through the things that they don't like. Or just don't feel like doing right then. So, Chris has an allotment, a certain number of assignments he needs to complete in a day whenever we do time for learning, and that number isn't very high. He very easily gets through it pretty quickly, but this isn't okay. So I'm gonna have to make some worksheets, and we're gonna have to do some chalkboard lessons or whiteboard lessons. We've got like chalkboards and whiteboards, and that's just one of several. Yeah, there's one in the dining room. There's two over there, a chalkboard and another chalkboard. One on the wall. Oh yeah, and then there's another whiteboard on the other side of the one chalkboard. At least we have plenty of space to write things down and not waste oodles of paper. I mean, it's nice out. Shouldn't be too hard to come up with some lessons that cover things that need to be covered. I mean, we could straight up use the patio out back as its own chalkboard. We have sidewalk chalk. It's sidewalk. It's cement. It's basically sidewalk as a porch. So it's nothing we haven't done before. If we really wanted to, we could just turn the cardboard into a giant chalkboard. He's not even sorry that he did it. He's just sorry that he got in trouble for it. This bugs me. Because, the consequences for not knowing these things, they're bigger than he thinks they are. There are a lot of really People who never learned these things. There are people who are in fucking high school who can barely read at all, who can't even like do any of this stuff. They're just really good at faking it. And there's a lot of stuff that gets by them because they are ignorant as fuck. And I've seen it happen. You at least have to know the basics so that you know whenever somebody is being full of shit. Knowing who's full of shit and what isn't helps you later in life. I don't want him to end up in any bad situations. So, at least he's a smart kid. It's just, he really hates social studies. And I'm like, oh no, because this is an important subject, because it has a lot of history in it. History is a very important subject, and social studies is also supposed to include like how the government works, basically how the world works. They just didn't feel like, I guess, any of these things were particularly important on their own. So a lot of times in elementary school, they lump it all together. Even geography ends up in there. It's just all the most important subjects end up in one subject. Yeah, because, geography, history, and, basically how our society works and how other societies work. These are actually important things for us to know. You can actually end up in prison if you don't know these things. You can end up being fooled by some asshole politician if you don't know these things. Like, there's so much bullshit that just goes on in the world. If you don't know these things, you don't know shit, and you're gonna sound like Ocasio-Cortez. And there are second graders, even in public school, who are smarter than her in the things that she pretends to know. Like, there are first graders that know she's wrong and why, and know that cow farts cannot be regulated. I'm never letting that go. I mean, she actually put that in there. What? Even? Like, if you want to do something to protect the environment, why not focus on things that are actually being destroyed? Why not be like, hey, well, I think the world needs more trees, so we're just gonna plant more trees. Okay, because you can't just tell everybody, hey, don't use trees for fuel, don't use wood. The world doesn't really work that way, and people don't work that way. That's why we have poachers. If you tell people not to hunt certain animals, there will always be those people that do that anyway. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. That hurt. I was playing with the chair. I was doing ow, ow, ow. It was between my toes. That hurt. Okay, so, I'm not playing with the chair anymore. Kinda glad that Chris didn't see that. I'm such a hypocrite with that stuff. To be fair, I don't do it in front of him. Anyway, I'm taking this off. Ugh. I have so much tape on my glasses now. It's just coming apart everywhere. I don't even know how much longer tape is going to be enough. I mean, I've got like glue under the tape. At this point, the tape is getting caught, because of how it raises a bit above. It's actually catching on my hair. Oh, that's not pleasant. But my eyesight is like... I took an eye test years ago without my glasses, and I was basically... I reached legally blind levels without my glasses. With them, it's not honestly much better right now. This is like a 5 or 6 year old prescription, I think. No, closer to like 4 or 5. Yeah, because Chris was. Yeah, Closer to 5, though. This prescription is old, and glasses actually make my eyes deteriorate faster, so it's kind of a catch-22. Because I've never had glasses that are tinted like I should, because my eyes take in that little bit more light, so that does cause my eyes to deteriorate faster. Glasses will always make my vision worse, but also I can't really get by without them, so